Today I want to go over the a little preview on the book we put out. Now a lot of people actually know we put the book out on prevention of overuse and sports injuries. There's about 10 cases in there, great exercises and preventative measures you can take to very common sports injuries that we see here. Today we're going to go over lower back pain associated with mostly football, soccer, that type of thing. We've gone over this model many times, yet a lot of people still don't understand overuse and sports injuries. We're talking more of the medium to small range tears, not the gigantic tears. But basically what happens is, again, you have this mop. A lot of my patients love the mop, great demonstration and visual effect of really what happens with muscles and soft tissues as they get injured. So normally what you have here is tissue that should be continuous and free flowing. It should be able to be separable. When you get to a point where there's actually a tear happens, the tear heals up with something very hard, which is fibrous tissue or adhesions or scar tissue, which can basically happen all the way throughout the muscle itself. So when we're talking about lower back pain, basically that's what's happening there is trauma, micro trauma or large trauma, which basically develops and heals over with this scar tissue. Now the first thing we need to really address is fixing the scar tissue formation, breaking those adhesions up. What happens is cross fibers, one muscle starts to stick to another or other soft tissue structure, and basically those don't move very well, limiting the healing process. So what we first need to do again is to break that up. I like to use something called active release technique, Grasson technique works well. Any deep tissue therapist can accomplish the same thing as long as they know what they're doing, because what it comes down to is basically you have to be specific. There's certain structures we're working with here that need to be addressed, and if those aren't addressed, they're not going to become fixed. Again, we're going back to this model here, going back to this mop, and basically you just have to take these fibers and just separate them out. And you see it finally ripping across, but it takes a little bit of effort to really do so.
A few stretches in particular are going to be important when you're looking at preventing lower back pain. Stretching the hip rotators, especially in different planes since there's multiple different hip rotators, is important. Here's one activity you can do to accomplish that. Next we'll be looking at strengthening the glutes or the muscles in the back part of the pelvis. This would be just a basic double leg bridge. We can advance it to a single leg bridge as we go as well, but just remember you're trying to extend the hip rather than flex the lower back. Here's that single leg variety we're looking at. The purpose of bringing one knee up to the chest is to isolate obviously one side, but also two, you can help prevent using the lower back for extension during this pattern. Another useful stretch is going to be stretching the hip flexors. This is the Rectus Femoris, as well as the psoas. It'll get to part of that as well, but it's something that's shortened continually throughout the day, especially many high school level athletes. Don't forget to check out our ebook at the website below.